Welcome to day 2 of my Camino de Santiago journey from Sarria. Today I have to go from Portomarín to Palas de Rei. And guess who didn't sleep well today either? Ha ha ha! I don't find it funny. Anyway, I'm going to start packing up my things because I had quite a mess set up camp and I'm going to have breakfast. Since I was still waking up and my social battery wasn't charged yet, I decided to have breakfast on my own and just think about my own stuff. After a while, I ran into the group from Mallorca that I met yesterday. And today, I decided to start my day with them. Well, you've already made it through the first day. What are your expectations for today? How do you feel? How do you see yourselves?
We feel good, fresh, and our expectations are high. Ready for the 23 to 25 kilometers. I've already got a bit of muscle soreness, but I think we'll manage.
How was it yesterday? How did you have it? Was it easy?
It was easy, yes. Very fun, great company. First stage went really well.
That said, Damian the guide tells us a bit about what we'll find on this stretch and we start walking. I have to say that even though I felt like I needed a couple more hours of sleep, the fact that you immediately get into these paths surrounded by nature and spend so much time here, it's like it somehow recharges your energy. And thank goodness, because today we're really gonna need that energy. Well, cousin, damn, first half hour of the day we've already climbed about 35 to 36 slopes and there's still another huge one ahead. I don't know if you can see it. And something cool about this stretch is that you get both lush green forest landscapes and super wide, expansive views. Damian, the guide for the route, told us that about halfway, I think he said at around 8 to 10 kilometers, there's some Celtic settlement or a little house around there. Very typical of those stone houses you find in Galicia. So we'll probably make a little stop there to rest, catch our breath. And that's it. Let's see how it goes. Here, the walk was actually quite enjoyable for me because I spent the whole time talking with Adri, a guy from the Mallorca group who you'll see a lot in my videos. In fact, he almost seems more like the main character than I do, because he shows up in so many of the video shots. We had to climb several hills at the start of the day, and finally we reached the turnoff where you could go to Castrotelpa. It's true what they say about this stage being a bit of a mental challenge because... I don't want to swear, but... man, it's tough. I don't know if you can tell, but... damn. Anyway, we're almost at Castro Centro now, right here at kilometer 82. Now, we're going to take a little break and wait for the others in the group. We took the opportunity to rest here and have a drink. And if you look closely, they're still uncovering the structures. Honestly, they've still got a lot of work to do. The views from here are nice, but the problem is that today it's not very warm, so it's easy to get cold quickly if you stop for too long. So time to keep going. You're about to be more of a star than I am. Hey, we just came from taking some pictures.
You have to take a picture of us with this beauty right here.
Please, a few words. What are we doing? How's today's walk going for you?
Very good. The walk? Super.
Easy. This last hill was cool. Yes?
So good.
I swear every time someone told me it was easy for them, I felt like it was a blow to my ego, but hey, it's better that no one suffers. So, how's the little path going for you?
Good, but I can't stop right now. All right, let's keep going.
Go ahead, it's right there already.
Up we go. It's our turn. What do we do for Portomarín for Palas de Rei, 25 kilometers?
No problem. You guys are going...
And I bless you.
I didn't understand anything. Laughter. What did they say? But yeah, I didn't realize there was a path I could have continued on. And basically, I turned back to the point where I took the wrong turn and kept going from there. Which means I ended up walking even more. Well, that's it. We've already come down from the Celtic Castro. Honestly, it's pretty cool. But it's true that it's a bit uncomfortable when you want to stop because... as soon as you stop for a bit and your body cools down, like I said before, it's a bit hard to get going again, so... we're going to have to... well, really think about where to take breaks and all that. And I think today I might have a little slice of tortilla. We'll see. We kept walking for a while and came across a stand that caught my attention. The place was called Casa de la Tortilla. And well, I was debating whether to stop again for a bite, but when I saw this... good grief, what on earth is this? Well, obviously, I had to stop and try it. I hung out with some other people from the Mallorca group and just enjoyed the whole experience, you know? The tortilla was tasty, and honestly, I usually prefer them a bit runny, but well, it's also impossible to make something like this and have it turn out that way. After a little break, we got back to work. However, not long after we started walking again, the group wanted to stop at a little house where a blind man stamps pilgrim's credentials. And honestly, they spent quite a while there because that man is just like me, he loves to talk. But anyway, I took the opportunity to stretch my legs and give my feet a bit of a rest. And after a good 20 or 25 minutes, we continued on our adventure. Today has been pretty tough for me, and I realized something. Here comes a little tip from a newbie. Everyone has their own pace for doing the Camino, and we can all agree on that. But I have to tell you to pay attention to how many breaks you take and how long you stop for each one. If you stop too often, you cool down and have to get yourself going again and again. And that ends up being more tiring than just keeping a steady pace and taking fewer breaks. And hey, I'm not saying you shouldn't rest, but choose carefully where and why you stop. That way you only stop when you really need to. And here, folks, is where Diego's Day 2 tragedy begins. Don't ask me why, but there came a point when I thought we were already arriving at Palas de Rei, and I was so happy I took out my phone to check on maps where my hostel was. Well, just imagine my face when I saw this. I still had an hour and a half to go. What? As you can imagine, this gave me a kind of mental slump, and this last hour and a half felt endless. In fact, I'm going to show you clips from this final stretch, and you'll see how my voice and my energy, well, they weren't exactly at their peak. Look, honestly, I don't know how the third day is going to be, but the second one already. The truth is... Damn, I didn't think it was going to be this hard for me. I mean, I'm missing the last hour, but like a super boring math class on a Friday at the end of the day in high school, I swear. It's going by super slowly. To be honest, my feet already hurt quite a bit, but oh well. Well, nothing that can't be done, right? But wow. This is definitely the path that leaves its mark on you, not the other way around, man. I think the strategy I'm going to use tomorrow will be, for the very first stage I do, which is Arzúa, and it's the longest one, I'm going to walk the whole way, as far as I can until I take the first break, because I don't know if it was today. I took the first break a little earlier, and when my body stopped, it kind of relaxed, and then getting warmed up again was harder for me, you know? My god, even though I more or less slept well last night, I have to say my brain feels kind of disconnected, honestly. I mean, if you asked me what day it is today, I'd probably say red. Just to show you how out of it I am, I didn't even grab the mic or anything to record. But anyway, in theory we made it to Palas de Rei. No, in theory, according to Google Maps, we should get to Palas de Rei at about 10 to 3. Supposedly we have about 15 minutes left. So let's see. Buen camino. Okay, I don't know if I should admit this, but while I was recording the previous video clip where I took out the microphone, it turns out I had already arrived in Palas de Rei. So I'm here, we've arrived, there's nothing left for me to do. Now, the group I was with has already stayed at their hostel, which... Theirs was right there at the entrance. I have to walk a bit further, but, well, we're already here, so... God, I'm loving this. There's an Eroski supermarket right here next to me, so I'm gonna see if I can buy myself a new pair of feet. Yesterday, I even went down to Portomarín to film shots of the bridge and everything, but today I don't know if I'll be able to go back down after throwing myself onto the bed. So, well, we'll have to see how my energy holds up. I should also check Google Maps, because I'm not sure if I'm going the right way now. Even just to get to the hostel, I'm going to have to go up a little hill. And I say it in diminutive because it sounds cuter, but there's nothing little about that hill. Good thing I ate that huge tortilla when we stopped, I don't know, at around 8 or 9 kilometers, because otherwise this would have been unbearable. And what you're seeing on screen is basically me for the next 2 hours at the hostel. Over here? Any leg? Any foot? Any... No? Well, thanks. Honestly, it's not just that my legs are tired, but my trapezius muscles. Damn, they're insanely tight, it's crazy, and I just noticed it now when I got here. Look, you're going to kill me because I'm in Galicia and I just went to buy something to eat, and I didn't get... I haven't had any octopus or empanada or Galician stew or anything at all today at least. Because I'm exhausted and I can barely manage to go to the supermarket and come back. But what caught my attention were these snacks here that said in the supermarket they were made with turmeric. And well, being the healthy food geek that I am, I wanted to try them. And you can really tell they have turmeric because they're super yellow. They don't taste like anything. At the end of the day, the group from Mallorca invited me to have a drink with them and we all shared how our day went. And then I also joined them when they went to have dinner. In fact, you can see how they were celebrating the fact that I was there having dinner with them. From this point on, I stopped recording because I wanted to focus on enjoying myself, having dinner, relaxing and chatting with them because honestly, they're really great people. And well, to sum up the day, I have to say that today's stage felt more challenging to me. Mainly because, as I mentioned, I took quite a few breaks. But maybe if I hadn't taken so many breaks, it would have been easier. Because in the end, the distance was pretty much the same as on the first day. But well, I say maybe because being the second day, you also start to feel the fatigue from the previous day and obviously the lack of habit of walking so much. I should also mention, as I already said, that luckily today's stage was beautiful in terms of nature and scenery, and that really helps make the walk more enjoyable. And since I'm the kind of person who can get lost for a good while just staring at the same landscape, you can imagine how absorbed I am taking in the view. Although, to be honest, today I just didn't have the energy to go for a walk around Palas de Rei and see a bit more of the town. But tomorrow morning before I leave, I'll stop by the church to see what it's like inside, since I really like the one in Portomarín and I want to see this one before I go. Now it's time to get ready to go to bed early, because tomorrow is a long day and judging by how I felt today, I'm really going to need my energy. Thank you so much to everyone who's joining me on this little adventure, and I'll see you on the third day heading to Arzúa. I don't know if you remember what I said yesterday. After climbing the hills on the first stage, that I truly thought I was born for this. But then again, maybe I was not.